Archaeology is an ancient discipline, and almost all great civilizations had scholars who dug up the past and analysed it in relation to history. During her reign, Cleopatra had archaeologists studying the Egyptian pyramids. The pyramids are undoubtedly the greatest mystery humanity has encountered. In the recent decades, the field of archaeology has made some groundbreaking revelations and discovered some incredible historic structures. In today's video, we'll tell you all about 12 most incredible archaeological finds in recent years. So make sure to watch till the end and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Ancient Ritual Center. In January 2023, archaeologists discovered this ancient ritual center in Overton, England. During the time when Romans had occupied the British Isles, the site was used for various rituals. However, it's much older according to reports. Excavation of the site and studies on it are still underway, and the analysts think that it used to be a focal point for communal, religious and ritual activity for almost 4,000 years. After it was constructed, the site remained functional for more than 2,000 years. Archaeologists have unearthed artifacts belonging to the Bronze Age as well as the Roman era. The most significant Bronze Age discovery is a particular type of burial mound called the barrow. Inside the barrow, archaeologists found 5 burial urns, but all 5 were empty. They think the barrow was never used for human burials and served a symbolic purpose. Since this is a recent discovery, a lot is yet to be revealed about this strange ancient ritual center, but we'll probably never find out the true purpose of this barrow. Changsha Pit Tubes. This one was also unearthed in January 2023. In the footage you can see the renowned archaeological site located in China called Changsha. It's built on the side of a mountain, and archaeologists have been studying it for many years now. But recently they announced that they may have discovered something exceptional. They've unearthed a cluster of 21 vertical pit tombs. From these tombs they've recovered more than 200 artifacts. According to reports, the tombs are at least 2,000 years old and were probably dug for the members of an ancient Chinese royal family. In fact, many are speculating that these tombs could contain the remains of the royals of the Western Han dynasty. The fact that these people were buried super close has made researchers predict that they were family members. The quality of the artifacts they were buried with has made archaeologists assume that they were of royal descent. Another burial site called Tai Hualing Han Tomb is also located quite close to these newly discovered pit tombs, so there's a good chance the two are connected in some way. Most of the artifacts found in these are known to Chinese historians. However, a pair of iron relics adorned with talc and glaze are still a mystery to everyone. Headless human remains. This has to be one of the scariest archaeological discoveries of recent years. Back in September 2022, 36 terrifying headless human bodies were discovered by archaeologists at the excavation site of a huge Stone Age settlement. The settlement is located in Rebel, Western Slovakia. It's not possible for scientists to figure out why these people were killed, since a lot of time has passed since it happened and there's little to no forensic evidence left to analyze. Historians believe that these people were executed as a part of some sort of primitive cult ceremony. If that was actually the case, this ceremony took place almost 7,250 years ago. The remains were discovered in a ditch located near one of the entrances to the settlement. Analysis of the remains revealed that almost all the victims were juveniles. While the full history of this settlement is still a mystery, its size is quite unusual for the times when it existed. It covers an area of 20 hectares and is larger than Troy and Mycenae. Both these cities were also founded and populated around the same time in history as this settlement. Chest from World War II era. When Poland was invaded by the Nazi forces at the beginning of World War II, the Jewish population of the country had no choice but to flee if they wanted to stay alive. While fleeing, they often tried to hide their valuables, hoping to return home one day. Unfortunately for most, that never happened. A partially damaged wooden chest was discovered buried in the foundations of a building in January 2023. The chest was unearthed during renovation works. It was handed over to archaeologists who carefully opened it. Inside it they found a collection of around 400 objects. Some of these objects are Judaica. All of these were wrapped in newspapers before they were stashed inside the chest. The newspapers confirmed that the box was buried around October 1939. The collection of artifacts includes menorahs, Hanukkah, pieces of the Talmud, holy vessels and other personal objects like perfume bottles, clothing items and silver tableware. Experts think that the family thought this was all the stuff they believed was worth saving. However, it's evident that they couldn't take it with them while fleeing the country. The Jews who remained there were forced to live in a ghetto located northeast of Lodz in 1940. 1.5 tons of coins. Ancient coins are often discovered even in modern times. They're found all over the globe, and most of the time they don't make for a thrilling discovery story. But this massive hoard of bronze coins weighing a whopping 1.5 tons was found in a remote Chinese village of the Shandong Jiangsu province back in December 2022. All the coins had been minted within 100 years of each other, starting from the late Tang Dynasty era in the 9th century. These ended in the Song Dynasty era in the 10th century. When the coins were discovered, they were held together by straw ropes passing through the holes in the center of the coins. They were arranged in neat piles. This makes it evident that the coins were deliberately buried to safeguard the hoard. But for some reason, whoever buried this stash of coins never returned to retrieve them. Near the site of this discovery, a battle between the Jin and Song troops reportedly occurred during the 10th century. Archaeologists think a military camp may have existed here, and the coins were actually the wages of the soldiers. Grave robbers discover tomb. This new discovery is from an already established and famous archaeological site. Back in the 1980s, this rich and incredibly important tomb was discovered by grave robbers in a national park near Jerusalem. The site has been named the Tomb of Salome, a woman who is believed to have assisted in the birth of Jesus Christ. However, there isn't much proof about any connection between the tomb and the biblical figure. Excavations carried out in the tomb in December 2022 revealed a collection of small-sized artifacts. These artifacts included many pilgrims' lamps. The presence of these lamps proves that the place has been deemed sacred for several hundred years. According to the new evidence, the tomb was most likely a Jewish burial chamber from the Roman period. It was reoccupied by a Christian chapel during the Byzantine rule. It also attracted pilgrims and scholars during the early Islam years of the region. Cairn in Finland. Finland doesn't have a very rich archaeological history, but recently something interesting has been discovered here back in December 2022. Archaeologists confirmed that they'd found a Bronze Age monument in the city called Turku. It's known as Finland's oldest city. The monument has been hiding in plain sight for a very long time. It's just a bit more than a pile of stones and measures 30 feet in length. It's about 20 feet across and just 1 foot tall. Experts have revealed that when this monument was first made, it was probably much taller and more compact than it is today. They think it was built around 3,500 years ago. Such cairns were mostly built for burials during the Bronze Age. However, according to Finnish historians, that is not the case with this particular cairn. It was built on the highest point of the hill overlooking the Ora River. This means it was probably a territory marker. No human remains have been found in the cairn either. Crocodile Heads. Egyptian burials where some of the elite members of the ancient Egyptian civilization contain some incredibly enigmatic grave goods. Archaeologists are pretty much used to discovering exotic and expensive artifacts in the tombs they excavate. In January 2023, a group of archaeologists revealed that they had unearthed something unbelievable and strange on the Theban necropolis. They'd found 9 well-preserved crocodile heads. Ancient Egyptians are known for mummifying and burying animals for all kinds of purposes, but this is the first time archaeologists have found reptile remains in human tombs. The crocodile heads were placed in the tomb of an individual known as Keti, who was laid to rest in the tomb almost 4,500 years ago. The heads belonged to young Nile crocodiles, and according to experts, they were killed particularly for the burial. Precious blood of Christ. This ancient artifact may not be a new discovery, but it's one that has finally returned home. This shiny relic is called the Precious Blood of Christ. It had been stolen from the Feckle Abbey Church located in Normandy, France back in June 2022. It's one of the most sacred relics belonging to the Catholic Church. The believers say that it contains Christ's blood from when he was crucified around 2,000 years ago. Police in France still have no idea who had stolen the precious blood of Christ. It was spontaneously returned by whomever took it almost 2 months after it was taken. The thieves left it on the doorstep of a Dutch detective named Arthur Brandt. The thieves probably realized they won't be able to sell it without getting caught. House in Pompeii. The ancient Roman city of Pompeii was wiped out by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in the year 79. Therefore, very little is known about life in the city before the volcano erupted. Some new discoveries made in 2022 may answer some of our questions about the city. In 2018, a new project was launched that was focused on excavating the less privileged residents and their neighborhoods in the city. Turns out the people who didn't live in Pompeii villas had a relatively middle-class lifestyle. The latest house studied has been named the House of Lorario. There's an area in the home dedicated to the worship of domestic spirit called Laris. The house has its own decorated courtyard, but the owner probably didn't have the means to adorn the entire property. Bare rooms with earthen floors have also been found in the residence, but archaeologists have found bed frames, traces of fabric from pillows and bed sheets. Thors hammer amulet. In the Holland province of Sweden, archaeologists have discovered a tiny Viking-era relic in October 2022. Historians are pretty excited about this miniature Thors hammer amulet made of lead. According to experts, it dates back to the 10th century. It is the first artifact of its kind to be discovered in Holland. The amulet was accidentally found during the development of a site for construction purposes. It's barely more than an inch in length, however it is pretty detailed and can be easily recognized as Mjolnir, the legendary hammer belonging to the Thor. In the shaft of the hammer there is a hole for threading a string, so the amulet may have been worn around its owner's neck. People used to wear these amulets in the Viking era thinking that they had magical powers that would help them keep evil spirits at bay. Ancient Greek artifact stash. Civilians and archaeologists often stumble upon objects buried in shallow earth, especially by the ones who know where to look. But for things buried much deeper in the earth, it takes years upon years of excavation and construction work to finally bring them to the surface. This was the case with this huge collection of artifacts belonging to ancient Greece. The collection was unearthed during the construction of a metro network just below the streets of Thessaloniki. It was founded in April 2019. The most mind-blowing of these artifacts are the ornate statues of Aphrodite, the infamous ancient Greek goddess. Several rings, gold wreaths, and countless pottery pieces have also been found in this stash of artifacts. Because of the staggering amount of artifacts unearthed, the metro project had to be indefinitely delayed. Archaeologists arrived on the site to safely extract each and every item from the ground. Researchers have also found the Decca Modus Maximus stone road that was most likely the main street of the city during the 6th century. They also uncovered what they think could be the remains of the first ever Christian church of the city. These discoveries suggest that Thessaloniki was a center for trade and religion for thousands of years before it finally saw its demise. According to reports, more than 300,000 artifacts have been discovered from the site so far. These were some of the most mind-blowing archaeological discoveries from around the world. Tell us in the comments which one you found most interesting. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you all next time.